Welcome back to the Piping Pastor. Well, I'll tell you, I thought we'd just have one of those little life chat videos, so uh, no real poetry in the Bible or deep theological discussion. Just going to be talking about some of the restoration work that I'm currently doing and some modifications I'm going to be doing to a pipe stand I got. And I also want to share with you my very first go of the Haunted Bookshop. I got this over Christmas, and I put it down as something I wanted to try because I know it's immensely popular with many people. Of course, one of Matches' favorites, and Beans 316. I know really likes this, and it's a big part of the Ethan's personal blend. I mean, the list goes on and on, right? But I've never tried it myself because I'm not a huge Burley fan, but I wanted to give it a go, and I'm coming to this with a prejudicial view. I'll be totally honest. I didn't even make a jar for this. I do these little labels on my canning jars, which you can see here. That's my favorite right there. That's number one, bourbon barrel aged plum pudding. But I make these little labels and stuff ahead of time. So whenever I buy a tin, I make a label for it, do a jar for it, and I jar it right away as soon as I open it. And in this one, I was not even so optimistic as to design and print a label. But we're going to give it a go and see what happens. I'm using my little 1904 Admiral Prince. So like I chose my smallest pipe as well. We'll see. The false light going there. All right, let's see what happens. Well, I mean, it burns really well. It was dry coming out of the tin. Which is nice. I was smoking some Black Irish Twist yesterday and didn't dry it out ahead of time. I had to relight it like a million times. Honestly, it's not as harsh as I thought it was going to be. I was expecting a heavier hit, a harsher aftertaste. Tobacco reviews are not my thing, so I'm not going to get into all the different flavor notes, And in point of fact, because I'm an enophile, a non-drinking enophile, I realize how odd that is. I would be talking about mouthfeel and stone fruit. Which doesn't translate well to tobacco aficionados and the taste profiles that we usually deal with. You know what? This is not bad. Cliff suggested I mix it with some of the pirate cake, make that haunted pirate ship. I think that might be really nice. I don't know. I'm surprised. I'm taken aback. I might have to keep this around. Yeah, we'll see. I'll do a few more bowls of it and see if I still have the same impression. But as of right now, it's not a bad tobacco. Maybe I was coming into it with such a negative ideal to begin with, like such a negative mindset, that I was pleasantly surprised. But either way you look at it, it's not bad. Well, on to the work I'm doing. So I mentioned I got some of those pipes through an estate auction. This being one of them, of course, the 1904 Admiral. And then I have another Admiral pipe, the one I mentioned in my last video. It was like it's kind of like a tomato, and the light doesn't really, the grain is really nice. But again, these pipes are over 100 years old, right at 100 years old. This one's over 100 years old. So they've darkened quite a bit. I just don't think there's any way around that. Like stripping and buffing it, I don't necessarily want to do that. But this is the one I'll probably be selling or trading or something else. I'm just not too terribly fond of it. And then it was a fun little thing, a couple of Greybow Grand Dukes, and these turned out really well. They were very, very well loved pipes as well, but I don't know how well you can see that with the light. But got these all cleaned and reamed out, so they're very usable. And I'll probably keep these around as like guest pipes. So if I have somebody over who wants to try pipe smoking or try a blend I have and they don't have their pipe with them, I'll probably keep these around because it's not a bad idea to have a couple of basket pipes around for a guest. The last one is this one here, which I'm warming up with my heater, which is an old meerschaum. Now I had to take this down quite a bit actually. This coloring here is some of the natural coloring from when it was used initially. But there was some significant lava cake around the top that I had to get rid of, and a lot of staining around the bowl, not the coloring of the meerschaum. The staining was more like drips and drabs of could have been anything. I mean, it could have been just some moisture flecking on there. It could have been somebody dabbling some cleaning stuff on there. I'm not sure what it was, but it was not a meerschaum coloring. It was like spots of black. It wasn't like a Dalmatian coloring. It wasn't like a faded African meerschaum. This is not an African meerschaum. It just was not nice looking. So I had to rather carefully sand this all down. And so what I'm doing now is I'm going to be applying some beeswax to it. So what I do, it's cheating. It's not real beeswax. Well, it is real beeswax, but it's an easier way to do it. You may not want to do this, but the Burt's Beeswax chapstick. So I just heat the pipe up and in front of my little space heater, heat the wax up, the Burt's Beeswax up in front of the little space heater as well, and then just kind of dribble a little bit on there. And then that's how I get it all waxed up and ready to go. So you can see it kind of like liquefies. But in any case, because I only had this one pipe to do, and I don't necessarily think that you need to constantly re-wax your meerschaum pipes. I'm not one of those people. So even though I have a couple of meerschaums, I don't re-wax. So there's no sense in buying a big block of beeswax. I was like, you know what, this little guy here will take care of the job as much as I need it to. So that's what I'm going to do. This is going to be kind of an experiment because I'd never restored a meerschaum before. But we'll see what happens. So I'll wax it and I'll smoke it a few times and see what happens. I am going to get a new stem for it. This is an ancient stem and it's got a hole in the top. And I thought rather than going through all the rigmarole of trying to repair this stem, I just ordered a new one. So it won't be the original stem, but it will be the original block, all sanded and refitted and re-waxed. So, and then the last thing is this pipe stand that I got that came with them. Now it has the little tobacco jar that fits on the inside, which is nice, but I won't be using because there's no rubber seal gasket on there. So I may at some point fit it with a rubber gasket and use it for a tobacco I'm smoking, on a regular basis. In all honesty, I think I'm going to stick with my ball canning jars. So that'll just be there decoratively, really. But the thing that I don't like about this one, I like the fact that it has this corner fit because it fits great in the corner of my tobacco cabinet / bookshelf. It keeps everything out of the way. What I don't like about it is that it's one of those ring holders. So especially like for the longer pipes, you have to like fit it up in there. And so where it sits on the bookshelf, every time I get these out, I have to work to get them out. I realize that's not a tremendous amount of work. I just exhibited there. But it's troublesome and it's unnecessary. Because it's not like, I'm taking this on a ship somewhere where they need to be locked in place. So what I'll be doing this afternoon is taking my Dremel tool and I'm just cutting these bits out here. And then I'm just going to sand them down and then finish the edges there with a little finishing oil that I have so that the pipes can just sit here and then lean back into them. Because these divots here are angled. I may angle them a bit more so it leans a little bit more heavily towards the back. But again, I'll just use the Dremel sander, take it down about a 1/16 of an inch, and then refinish those as well. So, but that'll be my little art project for this afternoon. So, and since I happily can say that I don't necessarily mind this haunted bookshop, well, then this seems like a decent tobacco to do some woodworking and pipe restoration with. And I will let you know how things go with the Burt's Beeswax lip balm. It does have like some menthol and some other additives to it, so it may not work out all that great. It was just an idea I had. And we'll see what happens. So if it works out, I'll let you know. If it doesn't work out, I'll let you know, because I don't want you to waste money on something that doesn't have any good effect. Well, that's it for this time. A rather pipe-centric kind of video, which don't have too many of those. So we'll get back into the poetry and the deeper content next time around. And I'm really looking forward to some of these Bible series that are going to be coming out with a few of you, that I know are doing series on these. I think it's going to create some really great discussions. So looking forward to seeing that. So that's it for this time. Have a great week. As always, happy reading.